Hi. Hi guys. Welcome back to Storytime Society. I'm so excited to be here today because let me tell you, I have decided I think last week I said that I have decided, but now I have decided differently. So last week I was saying that I was going to do 2 episodes a week, Wednesday and Friday. But why is this so tangled and annoying? But everyone. Okay, don't get ahead of yourself. Not everyone, but a lot of people have been loving these videos, and I love you guys. And I am going to start putting out videos on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Tuesday mornings, Wednesday mornings, Friday mornings, 8 a.m. EST. So 3 times a week. Because I love chatting with you guys. I really have been liking hearing all the feedback and seeing all your comments. Oh, okay. And yeah, it's just really fun. It feels like we're starting to build like a community, and that's just like what I want so bad. Like I just think it's going to be so fun. You guys can leave all your opinions about the stories, and we can just chat about stories and fun little things, and you guys can tell me things that have happened in your life. And yeah. But I do want to say happy late Mother's Day to anyone that's a mother. Love you so much, because that is just so. I love my mom and my stepmom and my boyfriend's mom. We had a really cute little brunch yesterday. I kind of like really set up a nice like spread and just super cute like balloons, flowers, decorations, champagne, mimosas, and all of that good stuff. So that was really fun, and I just love hosting. And yeah, I couldn't do that for my mom because she is in Arkansas, but I wish that she were here, and I love her, and I'm sure she's watching this right now because she is the best, most supportive mom ever. But anyways, let's get into the video. I'm really excited today. I don't know any of these stories. I actually got a comment that said that I should read them without like knowing what it's about, and all I know is the title. So I'm hoping these are good because I'm about to read them, and I hope they're interesting. My cat, I would love for her to join, but she is going to eat the cords instead. I would love for her to just lay over here and relax. Alrighty. I I keep doing that like, and it's really annoying. I'm just gonna decide which story to read first because I want to know like which is the most interesting. This one's a short one, so we'll do a longer one first. Oh my god, there's a lot of edits on this one. All right, so we're going to start with this one because this one's just like a straight up story, and the other one was like had 6 edits on it, and I just feel like it's going to be a little choppy, so I'll save that one for later. But oh, I have to prove this. Okay. Why isn't it opening? It's so annoying. I feel like every single time I'm having a difficulty. Okay, there we go. It's called My Stepsister is Telling My Whole Family My Boyfriend Got Her Pregnant to Make Her Feel Better. Oh, also, get out your drink. I already had 2 coffees today, so because I'm filming this a little bit later than I usually do. So today I'm just having a diet root beer from Wendy's. But whatever you're drinking, coffee, tea, pop, water, enjoy. All right, my stepsister is telling my whole family my boyfriend got her pregnant to make herself feel better. Sorry, weird title. So I met my 25 female. So I met my 25 female boyfriend Tim, 26 male, 3.5 years ago. We hit it off. He was great and sweet, and we get along perfectly. Until I introduced him to my family. My mother had gotten remarried a few months earlier. I like my stepdad, and we get along fine. My stepsister Sarah, who is 26 female, and We're friendly, but not besties by any means. She is kind of an intense party girl, and being in our 20s, we only saw each other at family events. So I introduced Tim to my family, at which point we learned that Sarah used to date Tim when they were 20. It was only a few months, and Tim said they broke up because she made out with another guy at a nightclub while drunk. Sarah got upset and started saying I had to break up with him because it was weird. She called Tim her sloppy seconds and tried to get our parents to force us to break up. I said no. It had been years since they'd been together, and I didn't even know Sarah when she was dating him. I got pretty upset because my family jumped on the bandwagon of saying we should break up. For the past few years, at any family gathering, Sarah would mention how they used to date and act like I stole her boyfriend, and has been selling that narrative to my family and friends. It became obvious that she was jealous, but I liked Tim, so we just ignored it and kept dating. So now, a few years later, Tim and I live together, and we've been talking about marriage and stuff, and I recently had a conversation with my mom about how I thought Tim was going to propose because he's not exactly subtle, and we've talked about this for a while. At which point, Sarah, who just moved back in with our parents, walked in. She started asking a bunch of invasive questions about our relationship and being weird. Sarah is 4 months pregnant. The father, she said, was some deadbeat guy she'd hooked up with who wants nothing to do with her, but she wants to keep the baby. I'd been making an effort, taking her to appointments and offering to help babysit and trying to be excited for her. Until a week ago when my stepdad sent me a long text saying how I can't marry Tim because he is the real father of Sarah's baby. I was immediately very upset and confronted Tim, who was completely shocked and said Sarah was lying. He said there's no way and he didn't cheat on me and he would gladly have a paternity test to prove that. Unsure, I asked Sarah for more details about when they slept together, which she says happened a few times. She was shaky and went back and forth on details. The dates and times don't match up with what I can remember of what Tim and I have been doing. She also said she came to our house to see him, but since COVID, I've been working from home, so I can't imagine that they managed that. I'm pretty sure now that she's lying to get us to break up because she's still jealous. But now my family is involved and have been sending me hateful messages saying I need to break up with Tim and let him be with Sarah. Yuck, bro. She's telling everyone he's in love with her and I'm keeping him from her. She has no proof and he strictly denied everything. I texted her asking for proof any of this happened, and she sent me some fake Photoshop screenshots that I can tell are fake, where she's put Tim's name over a friend's number and pretended he was messaging her. I checked, and the friend all but admitted it to me and tried to laugh it off. She badly photoshopped the timestamps. Okay, first of all, you don't have to Photoshop that. You could literally just you could text your friend and change the name to Tim. You don't have to Photoshop it, so, girl. Why did you Photoshop it? You could just literally edit the contact name. I actually don't know what to do now. I believe Tim and we're still together, but this has kind of thrown a wedge in everything. Sarah has poisoned my relationship with our parents and my family. I feel sick to my stomach, and Sarah is now saying she won't give me a paternity test. For now, I've cut everyone off except him, but I don't know what to do. Well, first of all, I was about to say you should cut everyone off. So I'm really glad that you did, first of all. Second of all, is this girl okay? Is she like mentally well? And I'm not making fun of mentally unwell people. I am a mentally unwell person. Well, not anymore because I'm on medicine, but girl, you actually might need to go to the doctor because if you're really you're making up this deep of a lie. This guy doesn't even want to be with you. Like, he doesn't even want you, to be quite frank. And second, I'm just so confused. It's almost stalkerish at this point because why? That's what I'm confused about. Why, especially when you know that none of this is real and that he doesn't want to be with you. So like, what are you trying to convince him that he does want to be with you? Like, he knows that none of this happened. And if I'm being honest, like, I do trust this guy. It sounds so fake having her Photoshop stuff and then saying she won't get a paternity test So then what? You're just going to have a baby and be like, you're the father. I pick you to be the father. I don't think that's how birth and like having a baby works. I don't want to like give you the birds and the bees talk, but you actually have to like, have intercourse for that to be your baby, his baby. Okay. Wait. Yeah, let's read the update. My sister told my family my boyfriend got her pregnant. Update. I had kind of forgotten about this post because life has been so hectic, but baby was born yesterday and reminded me of this. A few people have been asking for updates, so I spoke to my parents. Tim offered to do a paternity test. We gave them an ultimatum to believe me or have me out of their lives. Initially, my parents backed Sarah, mostly because she was pregnant and had nobody else. The deadbeat who knocked up Sarah reached out to me privately because he had been sure that he fathered the baby, as they'd been hooking up at the time and he wasn't sure what was going on. Sarah told him she was having the pregnancy terminated, apparently. Deadbeat reached out to my parents and said he wanted to fully support the child and Sarah. Turns out he's a plumber with a very good income and wants to be a dad to his kid. Good for you. But he doesn't want to be with Sarah at all. Neither would I. Sarah still won't admit to lying about the affair, but after realizing people weren't falling for it, she switched to faking a mental illness to cover for her deception. Well, I don't know if she's faking it. I do believe she is mentally unwell, just not in the way that she tells it. I have also figured out what a master manipulator she is. She fed my own parents tidbits and small lies to make her giant lies seem more credible. Tried to slowly turn them against me so they more easily believed Tim was in love with Sarah. Things are still strained with my family, but I feel I'm making progress, and Sarah has moved on to getting attention for being pregnant/sick, so she's not obsessing over Tim anymore, though I refuse to be around her. Baby was born today. I pray for that little guy. It's going to be a long and difficult life with that mother. My cousin went to visit and sent me a photo of the birth certificate. Father is listed as deadbeat guy. And finally, Tim did propose, but we're still planning on a long engagement. Sarah is not invited to the wedding. Yeah, I would never invite Sarah or even just say her name ever again. Like, she would just be completely... That girl sounds like a liability, to be honest with you. But I hope she gets better, because honestly, that's really sad. Like, obviously she has a child that she's going to be raising, and if she's this unwell, she needs to figure it out and like maybe get some help, because you don't want to raise a baby and like be crazy like that, making stuff up. Like, what are you, like a sociopath or something? I don't know, like a compulsive liar, I think. Or like, I don't know. I don't know the difference between pathological and compulsive liar, but she's one of those, and she needs to like honestly calm down, please. The first comment says, thanks for the update. Frankly, I agree. Don't invite Sarah. I am even questioning whether you should invite your parents. I mean, seriously, the boyfriend offered paternity test. He even swore she was lying and nothing happened. This is ridiculous that the parents believed Sarah, even with proof staring them in the face. The fact that the deadbeat turned out to not be a deadbeat, he should be renamed Plumber, and is more than willing to step up. It should be a sign to your parents that Sarah is manipulative. Frankly, if I was a plumber, I would get a paternity test anyway. After all, why did they break up? Was she or he cheating? Was it because she was a manipulative liar? And then OP said, it's because she's crazy and you only have to get close to her to see it. My parents and her biological relatives are a little reluctant to admit how bad she really is. Part of me thinks the apple didn't fall too far from the tree on this one, and they're all a little bit on the borderline of sanity. Yeah, well, I'm sure they do see it, but they probably just don't want to admit it because they obviously love her. Like, I feel like that's usually how it is with a family member that you love, and if they have like issues like that, you're like, it's okay. Like, you don't want to like think of them in that way because you love them, so you're just like, well, I love them the way that they are. Like, it's okay. Hopefully they'll get better someday. But I feel like they probably do know, unless they are just as crazy, like she said. Okay, there's another comment that says, been waiting on an update. Glad it turned out well for you. Has your family apologized? And she said, not in so many words. They are stubborn and reluctant to admit my stepsister is as much of a mess as she is. Okay. Well, at this point, it doesn't really matter how much of a mess she is. It more matters that your parents need to apologize and tell you that they're sorry for taking Sarah's side on the matter, especially when your boyfriend was being accused out of thin air. Like, she genuinely made this up out of thin air, and they aren't willing to apologize to you. That's really not good at all. So you should just forget about Sarah. Like, at this point, she's cut off. You don't really need to even think about her anymore. Who cares, you know? It's fine. And now you know that, like, you and your boyfriend can go through that and get through it better on the other side, and also that you really trust him, which is great. Okay, so this next story, I hope it's good. It has a lot of edits and then updates and, like, whoa, a lot of stuff. So this is actually probably going to be a really long one. But it has 24,000 upvotes and 2.5K comments, so I feel like it has to be good, right? The title is, I, 26 female, am an escort and I'm falling in love with one of my clients, 39 male. If you're going to pass judgment on my profession, please don't. If you're going to tell me I am being exploited, please don't. I am not here for that. I took on this client about a year ago. I was immediately struck with how handsome he was. As I got to know him, he showed himself to be kind, sweet, charismatic, utterly brilliant person. He is always gentle. I never had to enforce any boundaries with him. Over the last year, I have come to look forward to visits with him above any of my other clients. If there's a scheduling conflict, I will give him the priority. Lately, I have been more intimate with him than my other clients. Cuddles, kissing, hugs, and other things that I don't do with my other clients. I love my overnights with him. We have long, deep talks about everything about everything. We have a lot of shared interests and we just get along really well. I feel very safe with him. I am falling in love with him. It's never happened to me before. I have always kept emotions separate from my work, but I can't help it with him. I will spend time with him. I don't bill him for. Ooh. I spend extra time with him and just love to be with him. I've been spending time with him casually, going on dates, I guess for lack of a better word, that I'm not billing him for either, and the lines are starting to become very blurry. I don't know what to do. I think I want to move the relationship from professional to personal. And truth is, it's already becoming personal to me. But I can't imagine he would be okay with my work if I was his girlfriend. That's a little bit hypocritical. I am afraid of being rejected by him and ruining our work relationship. I think I would give this up to be with him, but that presents a whole new set of problems for me in finding a new career. I don't know what to do. Do I go for it, risk rejection and ruining our professional relationship? Do I keep do I give up my career for him if he says yes? I don't think I could continue this if I was with him personally. Do I just keep it silent and continue our relationship as is, or do I drop him as a client altogether? I was never looking for a guy to save me, but I can't help what I'm feeling for him. Um okay. First of all, he is the customer. The fact that he is the customer, if you don't think that he'd be okay with your work, well, I guess it's okay. I was thinking of it in a different way, but I guess, yeah, that's okay because I'm sure he's single and that's why he's hiring an escort. But obviously, if he was in a relationship with you, he wouldn't want you to be going and, like, basically cheating on him. So, okay, I understand that. I was thinking of it differently at first, but the thing is, I feel like, oh, that's so hard because it's not like you could not, you could always come back to this career if things didn't work out. But the only thing is, then it's like, now you have to find out what else you want to do. And I think you should tell him. I do think you should tell him. I don't think you should just drop him as a client. I think you should tell him that you have feelings for him in this way, because he clearly does too, right? Or, like, do you guys just not talk about the fact that you're not charging him for dates? Is he just thinking like, oh, we're going on this date that I'm going to pay her for? Like, is he thinking of it as an escort way, or is he thinking of it as, we're going on like a date outside of like what I usually pay her for, because I actually I'm starting to like her too? Because it seems like maybe he likes you too. But I don't know. I feel like you know better than I do, because you know who he is and how he is. And I feel like you could kind of catch a vibe with him. Obviously, if you guys are talking deep every night and you guys are hanging out all the time and you feel safe with him and like all this stuff, I think that he probably feels mutually. Okay. This edit, there's like 4 edits in a row that I'm about to read. I know why he's single. His wife died in an accident 3 years ago. Ooh, that's really sad. I can't believe how many responses this post has gotten. I'm going for it. I'll tell him this week. Now to figure out how. Lots had asked if I have a backup. I do. I'm about to leave for lunch with him. I'm not going to bring it up yet, but I do intend to ask him if he ever sees himself getting married again. Thanks for all the support. I didn't expect to see this much support. Lunch was nice. We had a good time. I did ask him if he felt like he could ever be married again. He said 3 years ago the answer would be a hard no, but now he wasn't so sure. Then he asked me if I ever saw myself getting married, and I had a similar answer. I told him I asked him if he wanted to come to... I hate when people don't put the right punctuation. I told him. I asked him if he wanted to come to dinner at my place tonight. Not work, personal. He said he's like that. I'm going for it. He said he'd like that. I'm going for it. Ooh, queen. Oh my god, I hope this ends well. I'm invested and kind of sad if it's not going to end well. Okay, we're going to get to the final update. I'm like worried. I don't even want to read it because I'm worried. Okay. Well, I truly didn't expect this post to get the reception that it did. I didn't think this many people would care and become so invested in my story. I really didn't expect all the support I got. I was flooded with comments, PMs, and chat requests. Some were about what I expected. Accusations of gold digger and can't turn a hoe into a housewife type comments that really was the response that I expected. What I didn't expect were the thousands of comments and messages of support. You were all right that I did know what I really wanted. I did know what my heart was telling me, but seeing thousands of people telling me to go for it was the push I needed to not waste any more time. Shoot your shot, right? I'd like to address a few things before I get into the update. A few people mentioned the story about his wife might be fake and he's secretly married. I was pretty sure he wasn't married, but I did out calls to his home and my I'm like stuttering because the way that she wrote this. I was pretty sure he wasn't married. I did out calls to his home, and my married clients never take me to their home, always a hotel. Okay, so out calls, I guess, are what they're called to go when as an escort. But I was regularly in his home. I saw the pictures of her around the house, and I know she was real. How can I trust a guy who uses escorts? Well, this is a silly thing to judge him on considering what I do. I can't imagine judging a man for using my service. I was his first too, and unless he's a good actor, I know the awkwardness of a first-timer, and he was definitely awkward when we first met. I never asked him if he started seeing other escorts because, frankly, it's none of my business. Okay, confident queen. I should wait for him to approach me. Unfortunately, this probably wouldn't work. As the lines become blurred, I did tell him about a few clients who became overly possessive, obsessive, and jealous that I had to drop. I am sure he thought the same would happen to him if he tried to tell me that he wanted a personal relationship. I had to be the one to make the first move. Do I want to do this forever / do I really want to give it up? Different variations of this theme of leaving the business. Some in favor, some against. Bottom line is, I don't think I see myself doing this into my 30s. I used to be fun and exciting, but lately it hasn't been. It just feels like work now, and the only meets I look forward to anymore are the ones with him. I also don't feel good about the idea of being committed to him, but still seeing clients. I heard from a lot of other sex workers and clients who were able to make that arrangement work, but I can't. Even if he would be okay with it, I just can't. Another add on to this is a friend of mine who has never been crazy about what I do. She's given me a standing offer to go work with her company on the sales team. Oh my god, wait, that's so good. A lot of people suggested we try going out as friends and doing things outside our working relationship. I imagine my comments answering this one were buried the flood of comments, so I'll put it here. We have been for some time now. We meet for lunches, dinners, we go to the movies, and make little trips to sites around where we live. We also text throughout the week. Okay, on to the update. She said that like 2 times. I think I left off yesterday that we had met for lunch. This was sort of a normal thing for us lately, and we had a nice chat. I posed to him the question of if he ever saw himself falling in love and marrying again. He said after his wife died, he didn't think it would be possible, but now he thinks he might be able to with the right person. Then he followed up with a question about if I would ever think about leaving the biz and getting married, and I sort of answered the same, with the right person, followed by a pointed stare. He had to go back to work by this point, and I invited him home for dinner. This was a first. He has never been to my home. I don't bring clients back there, only friends. I hoped that sent a strong signal to him. I went back home and started getting ready. I had to go shopping for some things and get the place ready to have a guest over. I called my friend. She knows about this guy and has been on the same page as Reddit, pushing me to make a move and settle down into something more normal. I told her about the Reddit post and said I was making the jump. I also let her know I wanted to take her up on the offer. I called up my upcoming appointments and canceled. I said something had come up and I wouldn't be available. I'm out. I'm done regardless of what happened with him because I can't get my head in the game anymore and I'm getting too personal. Plus, now I'm realizing I want to be in a relationship and I can't separate sex from my feelings like I thought. It's time to call it. This isn't what I want anymore. This choice was for me, not him. Even if things don't work out with him, I realized I really did want to be in a committed relationship with someone. One thing that people mentioned was the idea that he could turn violent when I told him. I honestly didn't believe he would, but I asked my friend to call and check on me just in case. She knows the drill. We have safe and emergency words set up, and we have a plan for if she gets no response from me at all. I mean, I feel like she kind of knows this guy well enough to know that he's not gonna like punch her if she says that she like is kind of in love with him. I feel like he's gonna be like happy, but we'll see. I got my shopping done and got dinner going. Set the place up nice and romantic and got myself dolled up nice and sexy and got ready to have him over. He came by at around 7. He had flowers for me and a bottle of wine. I invited him in. He said he wasn't sure if he should bring payment or not and just did. I told him that wasn't necessary. He wasn't here as a client. I don't bring clients to my home. I was really hoping he was getting the hint. Dinner was going nicely. We had our usual rapport, but I could tell he was getting perplexed about what this was all about. So I put on my big girl panties, gathered my courage, and shoot my shot, as you all put it. I told him I was dropping him as a client. He looked surprised and hurt. He wanted to know why. What did he do wrong? Did something happen? I assured him wasn't about him. I assured him it wasn't about him. I was leaving the business and dropped all my clients. I told him about the job I took and he wished me good luck. He said I was attractive and charming and he was sure I would do well in sales. He said he was going to miss me. I took a big deep breath and said, "You don't have to miss me if you don't want to." And then I spilled it. He was the only client I brought home to tell in person. I laid it all out, how I felt about him and how I didn't want to be his escort anymore. I wanted to be his girlfriend. I said I understand he paid me to leave and not stick around, and now I was asking to stick around, and I would understand if he didn't want to continue on. He said, "Who told you that?" That he paid me to keep coming back, not to leave. He said he felt it too, but he wasn't sure if it was appropriate to ask me that. He was still hurt over his wife, and that he wasn't even sure if he was ready, but that some of the best things in life started when he wasn't sure if he was ready. He asked me if I was okay with being with someone who was still hurting over his ex. I told him I could work with it and that I wasn't trying to replace her. We kissed, I let him into my bedroom, and we made love. Well, I feel like he's always going to be hurting over his ex, obviously, because she passed away. So I think you kind of have to make space for that no matter what, right? It's only been 3 years. Like, you're going to probably be sad about it a little bit for the rest of your life. Like, obviously, time heals. So after a while, you're going to start, like, less and less being sad and more just, like, once in a while you think about it. But it's so different than just, like, an ex. Like, she's not his ex. She literally passed away. So, like, I feel like you can't even consider that an ex, you know? It's a completely different situation. We spent some time after in each other's arms talking about what comes next. He offered to help me make the transition, but I told him I wanted to try and do this on my own and not rely on him. I appreciated his offer and I needed the help. If I needed the help, I would ask, but I need to try to do it on my own first. He respected that. I told him that things would change now. As his girlfriend, I would have expectations of him I never had as an escort. He was okay with that. I told him I never cared or asked if he saw other women, but now I wanted monogamy and I would give it and I wanted it in return. So if he was seeing other escorts, that would have to end. And I reminded him I dropped my clients. He said that wasn't a problem. I was the only one. He spent the night with me and left this morning. Where is this going to lead us next? I have no idea. Maybe I'm making a huge mistake. Maybe this was fate. Maybe this was God working in mysterious ways. Maybe we're just two lost and lonely souls tossed around by the stormy seas of life that managed to find each other and cling to each other. Fate, fairy tale, or fluke, we are going to see where this leads us next, and we're doing it together. I'm excited, elated, and terrified all at once. My whole life has drastically changed in one day. I didn't intend to move this fast, but once this train started rolling, it seemed like there was no stopping it. To everyone who said I was a worthless whore who could never be loved, F you too. To everyone who expressed concern, thank you. Maybe this is a mistake, but I have to find out. To everyone who encouraged me to go for it, thank you. You were right. Without the thousands of responses to go for it, I would have languished in that limbo for a lot longer. As a final thought, I want to say that this isn't normal. If you see sex workers, please don't think that this is the norm and that the women you see may also fall in love with you. While I'm sure it happens, and I've heard from others who are in some similar positions to mine, it's not really the norm. If you're considering sex work because you think you can find Prince Charming, no, this outcome is very unusual. Oh, and I hated Pretty Woman, by the way. I never thought it would be me one day. You can PM nice comments if you have something supportive to say. If you just want spite, bile, save it. Why do I feel like I literally know this girl and I'm so invested right now and I need her immediately to please give me an update? This was 5 years ago, by the way, guys. But why am I so happy for this girl? Like, please, like, this is so cute. I really need her to be, like, married to him now and have, like, a baby or something and be in a really happy relationship because, I mean, your life totally just changed. You quit escorting because it didn't fulfill you anymore. Amazing. You found someone even more amazing. Like, I'm so happy. She's only commented 4 years ago. Thanks. Things have worked out wonderfully for us so far. Oh my god. Please come back. Ugh. Can we make this viral so that she comes back and gives us an update? Her account is, oh, well, I guess it's a throwaway account, so she probably throwed it away. Throw, RA-ESC. Please come back. Please come back and let me know what has happened because I'm praying to the God of all gods that you are like still in love and living happily ever after. Okay, so she commented 4 years ago on a post that says, I am still in love with my dead ex-boyfriend despite being married. And she responded to that and said, my boyfriend lost his wife to a drunk driver. I know that he still loves her and always will. I also know he loves me. I have acceptance. I won't replace her, but I know he loves me. The hard part of loss like that is you never know what would have been. Maybe you would have been soulmates, or maybe the relationship would have died. Maybe you would have gotten married and had kids and been together till you both died, or maybe you would have been divorced. You will never know, and that must be hard. Your relationship never had the chance to play out in its natural conclusion to see where it would have led. Or maybe this was the natural conclusion. I don't know your husband, so I can't say whether it's better to tell him or not. It depends on how you would handle it. For you, though, I would recommend you cherish your memories of your late boyfriend. Accept that a part of you will always love him, but realize that he is your past and you have a present and a future with your husband. That is so cute and such a thoughtful comment to leave on someone's post. Like, I love that for her, honestly. But yeah, I mean, I feel like if you get in a relationship with someone that lost a partner to death, like, you kind of have to have, you just have to have that, like, empathy in you, knowing that it didn't get to end in, like, a way that it normally ends. Like, so they would probably still be together, or maybe they wouldn't be. Maybe they would have broken up, but they don't know that. So she still loves him, like, he is there. Like, she loves, like, his soul in the way that it exists after he passed away. And I think that if you're a good person, you just understand that. I I mean, obviously it would be a little bit hard knowing that, like, maybe he was his soulmate, but then it's like or he was her soulmate. But then again, it's like everything happens for a reason. So maybe, like, as morbid as this sounds, but it was his time to go. In my eyes, this is, like, what I believe. It was his time to go. Like, I don't think that people just die when it's, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's really sad, but I think that is, like, you have a time, and I don't think you just die for no reason. Like, I think that is how long you were supposed to be here on the earth. Not everyone is meant to be here until they're 111 years old, you know? So I feel like it's just, I mean, you just know. I don't know now. I'm getting ahead of myself. But yeah, I just feel like you have to be understanding and a good person, and know that hold space for your partner if they lost their last partner, because I can only imagine how hard that would be. Like, that makes me want to cry. Like, even just thinking about that is making my throat close up a little, because, like, I can't even imagine, like, losing my boyfriend and then having to, like, date again would be the hardest thing ever. I would lose it. I would lose my mind, and it would take so long to get over that. Like, I would be so long before I could date again, I feel like. I mean, I feel like everyone says that, but honestly, I do feel like it would literally take, like, 10 years for me to be able to date. And even after 10 years, I would still be sad about it, and still, like, feel like I really loved him and wouldn't be able to find, like, I feel like I would feel that I wouldn't be able to find someone as amazing as my boyfriend right now. And that would be, like, the worst thing ever, because I would just be so sad. I'd be, like, comparing everyone to him, even though there are so many more amazing people out there, I'm sure, but you know what I mean? I'm just kind of word vomiting, but that was really one of my favorite stories I think I've read. It's, like, the only story well, not the only story, but that was, like, one of the only stories that actually ended in a really happy way that I really am happy about. I don't even know if I finished any complete thoughts in the whole ramble that I just made, so I'm sorry if I didn't, but because now I'm thinking back, like, I have more that I want to say, but I don't know if I already kind of said it in different words, so sorry. All right, we're gonna read this last one. It is pretty short, but there might be updates. I'm not sure yet. We have to find out together. But the title is My Female 20 Mother female 37, tells me if I don't be her surrogate, she'll cut me out of her life forever. Okay, well, that's insane. My mother and her new husband want to have a baby. She's still young, so she's still fertile. However, both of her past pregnancies were complicated and very dangerous, so her doctor told her to absolutely not get pregnant, as it will just be even more risky now that she's older. She told me all of this morning, and then she asked me to be her surrogate. She said all I have to do is carry her egg and have it fertilized by her husband. I told her that I can't do that. For one, I'm trying to get my nursing degree, and I don't want anything to slow me down, and I already have a 2-year-old with my boyfriend. And remembering that, what it was like to be pregnant, there's no way I want to go through it again so soon. I'm also worried because a lot of the bonding mothers do with their babies is while it's still in the womb. I don't want to feel attached maternally to a baby that won't be mine. I gave her my reasons, and she just rolled her eyes at me and told me it would be a small sacrifice for you to do this for me. She told me all she wants is another baby and that I shouldn't deprive her of it when I can help her so easily. I tried to reason with her, but she literally told me if you don't do this to me, then I don't want to really if you don't do this to me, then I don't want a relationship with you anymore. I asked her if she was serious, and she said yes and left. I don't know what to do. My mom is very stubborn and very vindictive, so she probably means it, at least for now. I'm not sure how I should handle this. I think she's acting crazy. Well, you are right. She is acting crazy. And what? Giving birth to your brother? Like, I'm sure there's people out there that do that, but that sounds like a crazy thing. I can't imagine giving birth to my own brother. I would feel like, well, first of all, I feel like no matter what, I would be so attached to a baby that came out of my coochie. Like, no matter what, no matter whose DNA it had. And technically, it's my brother, too. So, like, that would be so weird. Like, I can't imagine being like, oh, that is, like, if it were me and my sister, my older sister birthed me, like, oh, yeah, like, this is my mom genetically, but, like, whatever, genetically, this is my mom and my dad, but actually, she built me in her stomach and pushed me out of her cooter 9 months later. And this is my sister, but also kind of my mom at the same time, you know? Like, that would be so crazy. I mean, I do feel like my mom is or not my mom. My sister is kind of like my second mom, because my sister is 12 years older than me. So growing up, like, she was partly like a second mom to me, because she would watch me a lot, obviously babysit me a lot, since she was so much older than me, and I looked up to her a lot. And yeah, so, like, it wouldn't be, I don't know, that would just be so crazy. I'd be like, wait, you kind of both are my moms, you know? I mean, I know that's not how surrogacy works. Like, I know that obviously they're not, but she would be raising a baby in her stomach that does have the same genes as her. Okay. Let's see if there's any comments or updates. First of all, we're going to read the comments. The top comment says, I wouldn't want to help someone with your mother's issues bring another child into this world. If she's willing to cut one child out of her life because they won't carry another child for her, I don't think she really sounds like a fit mother for either. Does she have mental or emotional health issues? Then OP said, she's always been elaborate. She's very emotional, and she's a borderline alcoholic. Well, that's just another reason to be like, no, I don't want to have your baby because you need to get help. Then sounds like she shouldn't have another kid regardless of ability to find a surrogate. Yeah. And then the next comment says, I respect that she is your mother, but those all sound like reasons that she shouldn't be a mother again. Further, my hunch is she's hoping the child will solve some of the unresolved issues that led to her drinking. More importantly, I'm sorry that your mother is manipulating you in this way. It's not healthy and you don't deserve it. I don't know how anyone calls carrying a child a small, insignificant thing, especially after having their own complications. That's wildly unhealthy. Yeah, and not only that, but you are realizing that your daughter is 20 years old and she already has a 2-year-old to raise, and she's trying to go to school and she wants to focus on herself. Like, let her live her 20-year-old life, you know? She had a baby at the same time you did. Like, you guys are living a very similar, like, upbringing, I feel like. I'm sure she struggles and stuff with her. I can't imagine. Like, I mean, I just feel like it would be really hard, in my opinion, to be raising a baby at the age of 18. I couldn't have done it. I'll tell you that for sure. I will tell you that for 100% sure. Oh, wait, shoot. I wanted to see if I want to look on her page and see if she has any updates, or if she won't give up drinking for pregnancy anyway. She doesn't want to pay for a surrogate because she doesn't really believe in that. Doesn't believe in that. What? Because she thinks surrogacy is exploitative and buying a body. That's what she... What? If she thinks it's exploitative, how is it not exploitative to have your daughter be carrying your child for you? I mean, I guess she's not offering her anything, but honestly, you should be offering her something. What? You're just like, it's exploitative and buying a body, so you do this for me for free. I'm just going to read her, all of her comments. Because she doesn't have an update, unfortunately. She does have the money. Her husband is pretty wealthy. Well, this is her fourth husband. I don't know about boyfriends, lol. I don't think so. I know for a fact my mom almost died when she was pregnant with me, and I'm old enough to remember how it was when she was pregnant with my brother. Oh, you have a brother too? Wait, what? What? That's so... Someone said, so she has 2 fully functioning children and she needs another. Why? Does she not think that this world has enough children? Well, I don't agree. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I do think that it's fine. Like, your feelings are valid if you want a child. I don't think that, like, you should be shamed for wanting a child. But in this case, yeah, she has 2 fully functioning children that I think she birthed on her own. So I think it's fine to, especially if you can't physically have the baby, I think it's okay to just maybe accept, like, okay, these are my 2 kids. I love them. Put all your energy into your kids that you have already. And just accept maybe, like, okay, well, I can't have kids anymore, but I have these 2 amazing children that I can put my energy into and love, and I don't need to force my daughter to have another one for me. Like, what? I mean, it sounds like you're putting your own daughter through trauma right now. Why would you think that you're fit to have another child when you're traumatizing your child already? It's almost as if she sees her as like a little sister or something because she was so young when she had her. I feel like that kind of happens. It's like an epidemic. I almost feel like when you have a kid so young, you almost feel like that's like your sibling. So then you feel like it's okay to treat them like that. Like, I feel like it's more normal for a sister to ask a sister to be a surrogate, than like a mom to ask her daughter to do it. So in my opinion, I feel like she kind of looks at her like that's just like my sibling, even though obviously she knows like it's not her little sister, but that's kind of how she's treating her almost. But I also have seen like a common theme with that with people before. I've noticed that younger mothers, and I'm not saying every mother, obviously. I'm sure there are amazing, and you're not a bad mother either. I always have to like preface myself, but I just don't want to like offend anyone because I'm never meaning to come off like offensive. But I'm just saying my experiences in life and like what I have witnessed. I feel like a lot of women that have kids at such a young age, because they are kids themselves, like they end up, they have to raise a baby throughout the years that they're supposed to be having fun and living their teenage lives, throughout their 20s, so they get a lot of that like taken from them. And it's hard because then you're kind of in this like this different state. I don't know how to even say it because obviously I've never gone through that, but my mom had my sister at a young age. She got pregnant, I think, at like 19, and then birthed her. I think she was still 19 when she gave birth, but so she was 19 when she gave birth, and I feel like that kind of like stunted things a little bit because she had a baby and then she had to take care of that baby throughout, her obviously the rest of her life after that, or for the next 18 years, but even more because my sister lived with us for a lot longer than that. But I just feel like they kind of had that like sister mother dynamic, I guess I would call it, because they fought like sisters, they acted like sisters, and I just feel like that's a lot of what happens when you have a child so young. And then also you didn't get to really experience your late teens, early 20s, late 20s the way that other people do, like in the way that I did. I had such a crazy teens, early 20s, and then that kind of makes you later want to experience these things. Like my mom definitely had like a stage probably like in her 40s after, well, my dad and her got divorced when I was like a teenager, probably growing up around like 12 to like 20. She had like a phase where she was almost like going through her 20s, like trying, like getting that experience of being in your 20s, because sometimes when you don't have that experience, then you want to experience it later on, and then some people just never want to have that experience. But I personally know that I'm really glad that I got to have that experience, because I know that I would regret not having that experience if I were to have gotten pregnant like at a really young age. I would be like I would be literally like bursting at the, what is the saying? I would be bursting at the like opening, like I don't know, like exploding. I would be wanting to so bad have a fun experience, because even now I'm 26 and I still am sometimes like I wish I still like had fun like I did in my early 20s. So I just know that I would look at other people and the way that they got to grow up in their 20s and their teens and be like, damn, like I really wish. I feel like you always wish kind of like what you wish for what you didn't have. Why am I losing my brain cells today? But yeah, that's what I'm saying personally in my experience and what I've experienced having a mom that did have a child young. And I love her. She's an amazing mom. But she definitely did go through a phase where she was like party girl central. Ooh, trying to be like in her 20s, but she was really in her 40s. But she looked like she was in her 20s, honestly. But yeah. So if you feel that way, just know that you're valid and that it's okay. It's okay to feel that way, to feel like you wish that you had experienced your 20s or your teens. And maybe when you're 40 and your kids are grown up, you can have that experience. Nothing's wrong with that, in my opinion. As long as you're not hurting anyone, like, girl, do you. Go for it. Have fun. Have fun for the rest of your life. Have fun in your 60s. Like, go partying in your 60s if you want to. Why should anyone judge you for that? Go listen to some Snoop Dogg at the club, dancing with your like 60-year-old husband. If that's the life that you want to live, that sounds kind of fun to me. But at the same time, I'm 26 and I'm too tired to go to the club these days. But yeah. Anyways, that was a lot of rambling today. I feel like I talked a lot more, and I'm really sorry if that was annoying, because you guys probably just want to hear the stories, and I'm like over here rambling, telling you guys the dumbest stuff, not even knowing how to fully complete a sentence. I keep on forgetting like different terms and different ways to say things, and then I sound like a dumb idiot. I hope you enjoyed this episode though. I really liked like reading those stories without knowing what was happening, because I felt like I was getting the full experience. Usually I already know what happens and then I'm just rereading it and still like reacting, but it's a different reaction when you don't read it. I don't know why I just closed that. That was so dumb of me, but I'm really glad that they didn't shut off. But love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching and supporting and excuse me, and commenting, because that's like my favorite thing ever is getting to see your guys' comments. Hey, quit it. I told you my cat was going to chew on cords. That's what she's trying to do. I love chatting with you guys. I love seeing your guys' comments. I love seeing your guys' faces, like knowing that like it's not just the views on the screen. Like I actually want to see the people that exist and that are watching me, because it's so fun and I feel like I'm building a relationship with you. But if you can, I would love for you to like, subscribe, leave a comment, please. And also linked below is my Reddit, and I really need people to be posting crazy stories on there, because I really would just want, like, I want to hear your guys' crazy stories, you know? Even if you want to put it on a throwaway account, like I just want to hear your guys' stories that come from watching my videos and then leaving a post on the Storytime Society subreddit. So the link is below. Yeah, I love you guys, and thank you so much for watching. Again, I'm going to be uploading Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings at 8 a.m. EST. I'm so excited. Every single week, I'm like, I love doing this, so let's just add on another day. The first week, it was 1 day a week. The second week, it was 2 days a week. Now it's 3 days a week. Let's see where we're at next week. Maybe we'll do like 6 a week. Who knows? No, I'm just kidding. Probably not. But maybe. Okay. Love you. Bye.